team that you would pick to be a surprise contender in 2023 is Peter.
I'm going to say the words of a former quarterback there. Go Hawks. Seattle. The NFC's wide open, and Seattle's one of these teams that is in the playoffs last year and got significantly better this offseason. They added talent. They solidified the fact that Geno is their guy. And in the draft, they had 2 first-round picks that I think are going to both play major roles on this team. In Weatherspoon, the corner, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba. Look, they got a running back to go with Kenneth Walker. They are loaded. They have 2 guys who were rookie offensive tackles starting every game last week. Now they're second-year guys. They've got more of a feel. We know that Tariq Woolen's having a minor procedure going on now, but he's going to be back, and Jamal Adams is supposed to be healthy. So, look, I don't know. You tell me that Seattle's a crazy pick. I look at these playoff odds, Super Bowl odds, and nobody has Seattle in the Super Bowl conversation, but I wouldn't be shocked in a wide-open NFC if we saw Seattle playing in the Super Bowl in Las Vegas in a couple months.
Yeah, Seattle was a surprise team last year. We were like, oh, they're kind of resetting, and then they took off. I'm going with another team. Jacksonville Jaguars, Duval. This was a team that had the first overall picked Trayvon Walker, but then still ended up in the playoffs, which seems to be unheard of. Trevor Lawrence took off last year from year 1 to year 2. Finished the season extremely strong under Doug Peterson. This is a team that's getting Calvin Ridley coming off a suspension, Evan Ingram return, and then now everybody knows and has their expectations for Doug Peterson. On top of that, during the division where the other teams are kind of hitting reset, Texans draft C.J. Stroud. Obviously, the Colts get Anthony Richardson. Titans draft Will Levis, but they're still figuring out with a new GM and Rand Carthon. This kind of makes the path possibly a little bit easier for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we saw them go toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs last year in the playoffs. So I think the Jazz can surprise a few teams next year.
Yes, and I know. Can I be a little biased?
Yeah, but
this has kind of been my tag all week, being a little biased. But I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Hey, talk about
the reason I'm going with the Las Vegas Raiders is because you have McDaniels, who's already been there, and then they brought in who? Jimmy G. And the last time we seen them 2 together, Tom was out, and Jimmy G, what was his record?
3-0, I think.
3-0. He went in, he won. These guys know each other, and Jimmy G is more than a game manager. I know everybody thinks he's a game manager, but with the style offense that they play, Jimmy G is a perfect fit. They have Devontae Adams, they got Hunter Renfrow, and he is great at the across the middle, the play action. They have Josh Jacobs, who led the league in rushing. They bring in Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech. I know he played on the edge, but with the way they can mix and match, Max Crosby, I talked about him yesterday. They still have Chandler Jones. You bring in Tyree Wilson in the middle. He's more of a hybrid where you need a guy that can push up the middle. You can mix and match in the pass rush. I believe the Las Vegas Raiders have a real shot of winning it all.
Winning it all. I love it.
Love
yes.
I don't know about winning it all, but what about a surprise team in the Falcons? We had Desmond Ridder on this week. Look, so many people respect Arthur Smith, and you felt like he was going to get this thing turned around in Atlanta. He has doubled down on Desmond Ridder and said he's his guy. They didn't go out in the draft. They didn't want to look at free agency. And now you've surrounded him with all sorts of weapons. You got Bijan Robinson. They've got a running backs room that could maybe rival anybody in the league. They had the 3rd most rushing yards last season, and now you add Bijan. You've got Algier. You've got CP. You've got Drake London. On defense, they add Jesse Bates. It's a Falcons team that has never hosted a playoff game in Mercedes-Benz Stadium since they opened that thing. And it's time for them to get the magic back there in Atlanta. And I just feel like they've been sort of on the cusp of maybe getting this thing turned around.
Certainly
I think a lot of people they're certainly off the radar, and I think people would like to see that for Arthur Smith. So I'm going to go Falcons. And who knows in that division? Could be anyone.